Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Randi Cast.
Mary had a little man.
The fall. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
We know that centuries ago, they took a man, wicked men, put him on the cross, did not understand that though they were intending wickedness, that out of much intention of wickedness came goodness. Your loved one, George Floyd, this secular world failed in its duty to intervene, failed in its duty to act, and failed in its duty to aid. But George Floyd answered the question in death when it was asked in Isaiah, Lord, who should I send? Oh God, have mercy on us. There was a tall man by the name of Big Floyd who stood up and said, Lord, send me. And so as we come today, people of statute, those who humble themselves before God, we come to pay tribute to a man who said, send me. And I want to acknowledge those young marchers in the streets. Many of them could not be in this place. They are black and brown, they are Asian, they are white. They are protesting and marching, and I'm saying, as a mama, I hear your cry. That is what George Floyd wanted us to know. And I guess he wanted us to know, family, about CUNY Homes and Jack Yates. Somebody might have said, what good comes out of Nazareth? Somebody else might have said, what good comes out of Third Ward? I am so grateful today to be able to say a man by the name of Big Floyd walked amongst us down those CUNY Home blocks, went on up to that crimson and red, and began to mentor and make a legacy that no one can deny.
Oh! She was on fire. That's Sheila Jackson Lee, for those of you who don't recognize her. She's the congresswoman from Houston. I've known her a really, really, really long time, and she was present at the funeral that's still going on. This is the family's funeral. This is the private funeral for the family, and it's being aired nationally on television, and I'm keeping an eye on it because I'm waiting for the eulogy, which will be given by the Reverend Al Sharpton, and it should actually be a eulogy about George Floyd, about his life, about his family, about his scholarships that he got to play sports, about his friendships, about the fact that this family could be any family, except that this family had a large black man in it that was threatening to police officers, that this all happened over a $20 bill. All of this over a $20 bill, okay? So I'm waiting for that to happen. But I have to say, this funeral is so sad and celebratory at the same time, that if you're watching this and you don't feel anything, I would say you're pretty dead inside. I get the numbness that comes when you lose a loved one. I get what that is, but this family doesn't even, they have, I call it God's anesthesia, by the way. When tragedy strikes your family and you lose somebody who isn't supposed to be lost, they've gone too early, or it's not the correct order of things, meaning a mother loses a child, or a father loses a child. That's not the natural order of things, and that is so unnerving and disturbing. Losing a sister, obviously, I've been through that. But there's this numbness that comes over you. And I call it God's anesthesia. It is the only explanation I have for how human beings, after losing somebody in a shocking, horrific, sudden way, out of the natural order of things, can put a funeral together. I don't know how people do it, except to say that you're numb. And yet this family had to give up the numb feeling right away, like within hours of the videotape. And overnight, they weren't permitted to grieve. They weren't permitted to be private in their grief. They weren't, this whole family, you saw his little daughter, 6 years old, right? And his widow, Roxy, and his brothers. They, all of a sudden, overnight, these people had to become experts in policing. They had to become experts in law enforcement. They had to become experts in media management. They had to find an attorney to represent them. They had to learn legislation, what was in the pipeline, and what to fight for, and that people were. I mean, it was just it is the most. So, what an awesome family this is when you consider that they're not even, and when all the people leave, this is when I worry about the family. This is when their church family is going to be everything for them, because while today is sad, it's beyond sad, but it's celebratory, and it's deeply, deeply rooted in faith. It's deeply rooted in their belief in a kingdom that exists somewhere above them, that this is the earth and the kingdom of Jesus exists someplace else, and that the earthly world failed him, but they are so able to show you that this family deserved none of this, that this family did not deserve to have their nephew, their son, their cousin, their father taken by the police in this manner. They already have turned the numbness into a purpose, something that is giving them even a heavier burden than they already had in this world. And they rose to it. They are rising to it. It is the most amazingly graceful family I have ever seen in my life. So I will tell you, Joe Biden, video, he sent it by video. He did visit with the Floyd family yesterday. Donald Trump is still claiming he only went to inspect a bunker, that he didn't need the bunker, even though Bill Barr is saying he did need the bunker. He did need the bunker, and we can't have this. We can't have the President of the United States needing to be in a bunker. But, of course, Trump is saying, I didn't need to be in a bunker. I was just inspecting it. I go down for whatever. So he's continuing to lie. Biden had really good things to say, because grief is not outside his wheelhouse. Losing a son, losing a daughter, losing a wife is in Joe Biden's DNA.
To George's children and grandchild, I know you miss your dad and your granddad. Little Gianna, as I said to you when I saw you yesterday, you're so brave. Daddy's looking down. He's so proud of you. I know you missed that bear hug that only he could give. The pure joy riding on his shoulders so you could touch the sky. The countless hours he spent playing any game you wanted, because your smile, your laugh, your love is the only thing that mattered at the moment. I know you have a lot of questions, honey. No child should have to ask questions that too many black children have had to ask for generations. Why? Why's Daddy gone? And looking through your eyes, we should also be asking ourselves why the answer is so often too cruel and painful. Why in this nation do too many black Americans wake up knowing that they could lose their life in the course of just living their life? Why does justice not roll like a river or righteousness like a mighty stream? Why?